Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. My name is Yeshaya Yisrael of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. We do not, brothers and sisters, intend for this presentation to be long. Nonetheless, brothers and sisters, we do want to, first and foremost, as always, give honor unto the Most High on a human level, giving due respect to my teachers, they who have passed away, carrying the baton we attempting to, More Yosef, Cohen Lewi, Rabbi Yeshurun, More Tibak, Chief Simeon, More Mishael, among many, many others who have departed from the scene. Brothers and sisters, may the Most High continue to bless the life of Kohen Mikael. Continue to bless the life of him and his family. To continue to bless the life, brothers and sisters, of many, many others who have influenced the brother to want to even be known in attempting to try to get the information out that has been gathered over the course of years. Brothers and sisters, I do not profess to know everything. There are many, many things that I do not know. The more one studies, you will come to understand, the more one finds out one does not know. As you can see scrolling and as the banner on the bottom, we have the summer book sale by myself, Torah to the Most High, thanks to the Most High, Yeshaya, is the name that I hold. My number, 908-587-4841. The number for PayPal is the same number, 908-587-4841. Brothers and sisters, let me explain this particular image that you're looking at right there, where it says Yeshaya Author Danite. That is my Facebook name. My Instagram name is Yeshaya and Author, YESHIAHANAUTHOR. My YouTube, More Yeshaya History Lessons 2. And brothers and sisters, what you're seeing on the left side is a flyer advertising the history books that have been written over the course of some years. Get your reading done and for less price than a college course. Having been in college, having graduated college is expensive. One way or the other. If you get a scholarship, you had to work hard for it. So that was time being put in. If you got, brothers and sisters, someone to pay it for you, he or she knows that that is not a cheap price. We're talking sometimes over $500 at times per credit, if you will. So, brothers and sisters, what we want to sit there and get into, what we want to, brothers and sisters, point out for edification purposes is that you can get any one of these 5 history books, which we're going to show in the presentation. They are normally priced for $20, but you can get any 2 of these for $30. You won't get it online as such. You would have to contact me if you wanted such. My email is YYISRAEL, the number 22 at yahoo.com. Or I can be reached online via like Messenger through the Facebook matter of Yeshaya Author Danite, as you see there. Or one can call me by text or by reaching me on WhatsApp, brothers and sisters, at the number 908-587-4841 for those who are interested. We are going to, brothers and sisters, pull up the PowerPoint, brothers and sisters, for edification purposes. And let us start in said manner, if we will. We are going to hide, brothers and sisters, at this point in time, this said overlay matter and pull up the PowerPoint and start, brothers and sisters, from, if we will, from its beginning. All right. for edification purposes, if we will. The book promotion sale. Shalom, giving honor to the creator of heaven and earth. This presentation is concerning the book sale that will be from now until September 30th. All right, for those who are interested, one can find out by looking at the banner that is scrolling along on how this will be. Next slide, please. Old Testament Israelites respond to Messianic Israelites. No disrespect intended. Now, this book right here, brothers and sisters, is one of the most controversial books that I have written. This book was, as we are going to show right here, published in 2017. It, over the course of time, has had different covers, but the content is still the same nonetheless. This book, as stated, the most controversial book I wrote, is for the rest of the summer, priced at $10. This book right here is not a history book. This book right here, brothers and sisters, is more so, you may say, of a theology book. All right. So we want to just point that out, that this book here, you can get this on Amazon. You can get this, brothers and sisters, on barnesandnoble.com, if you will. One may not, and I say this in due respect, get this book from me directly for that price. He or she, male or female, will have to go on either Amazon or on barnesandnobles.com and look up Old Testament Israelites Respond to Messianic Israelites and get the book through that way for that price. Okay. This again will be priced as such as $10 for the rest of the summer, ending on September 30th. Will this book sell for that end at that price? After that, it is $15. Egypt Talking Writing. This book released in 2016 and updated in 2019 is the work of tedious study and research dating back to 2003. And I was motivated to write this book in 2009 in response to claims that Israelites were not in Egypt and there was no Exodus. Now, the cover that you see right there, on the bottom of it, you will see on the left-hand side of the bottom a picture of me and my lady. You will see on the right-hand side of it, brothers and sisters, a picture of me while her and I was in Egypt, standing next to one of the things there from the 10 and 6 hosts that they have inside of the museum. All right. So what you're seeing going back on this cover right here, looking at it from the left-hand side, above the picture of my lady, you see one of the mud brick pyramids. Now, if you look at the center of it, brothers and sisters, on the bottom of the center of it, it is a picture of what you see in the tomb of Rekhmere. On the right-hand side, above my picture, is a picture of the Apura papyrus. Those subjects are mentioned inside of this particular book right here. All right, next slide, please. The table of contents of the book. Joseph in Dynasty 12. Dispelling some misunderstandings and lies. Debates in Israelite perception. Recap and synopsis. Israel is not from Isis, Ra, and El. History to be noted and understood. Questions posed to brothers and sisters. A Hebrew speaks on Black history. Egyptians, Israelites, and Greeks. There's a lot of history in that particular chapter. Torah comes from Ma'at, ? Pictures and notes. Now, when you see that thing there about pictures and notes as part of the table of contents, me and my lady last year in 2021, we went to Egypt. And in going to Egypt, we took pictures. And that is like a gathering of pictures from that particular matter. All right, next slide, please. Afterward and conclusion. From Egypt to America, from Avaris to Alabama, the Romans and the Israelites, how to teach Deuteronomy 28, from Ghana to Georgia, from Dahomey to Delaware, from Nigeria to Niagara, from Madagascar to Manhattan. And that is from this book here, From Assyria to America. This book normally priced at $20, but you can get this book and another history book that is normally priced for $20 together for $30 by contacting me at the information which I'll provide later, or you can see going across the screen in the banner there. Alrighty. Brothers and sisters, From Assyria to America. This book was released in 2020. And I want to show brothers and sisters with the time allotted with the laser pointer. All right. From Egypt to America, from Avaris to Alabama. The portion called From Avaris to Alabama is a very long chapter in this book. This book being over 350 pages. The Romans and the Israelites. It goes from the matter with Pompey and the Israelites all the way down, brothers and sisters, to the matter of the Bar Kokhba battle and so forth. How to teach Deuteronomy 28. Brothers and sisters, the Hebraic way, the historical way, and the biblical way. That is what that book there gets into in that particular chapter, should I say, of the book. Sorry, didn't want to do that. Just wanted to go to this part here. From Ghana to Georgia, because they say that the Atlantic slave trade is told in reverse, and that going west in matter of the Atlantic slave trade is basically a lie in certain cases. So we were here already, but the we is not named, and here is not named, nor is our language or culture named when people say we were here already. So that's what this chapter right here gets into, from Ghana to Georgia. From Dahomey to Delaware. Dahomey is a place in Africa. Delaware, you know, is a state within the United States. From Nigeria to Niagara. Niagara, as you know, is part of New York. Yes, brothers and sisters. The chapter there gets into the matter of the slave trade that was done within the state of New York. From Madagascar to Manhattan. Now that chapter right there gets into the matter of the Portuguese doing slave trading, brothers and sisters, in the borough of Manhattan, which is part of New York City, which is by default a part of New York State, and what happened in that particular case. All right, so we just want to point that out for reasonable purposes. From Assyria to America, part 2. All right, here you see, brothers and sisters, this map right there. Let's explain with the laser pointer. All right, the black man that you see right there is one of the slaves of Thomas Jefferson. All right, what you see, brothers and sisters, on this picture right here is a picture of one of the Assyrians. And then another picture of the Assyrians leading the people of Judah into captivity. Then you see here a captive within the United States. And brothers and sisters, this image of the Caucasian male is one of the enslavers. So that is the point in putting that right there, from Assyria, what you see on the top, to America, what you see there on the bottom, shown along with maps and so forth and so on. Now, this is a part 2 of the book we just discussed, Introduction. The matter of 1619 and Genesis 15, the claim that is made by saying 2019 made 400 years of this captivity in the West, such is not accurate. That's the that's the consensus of that chapter there. Chapter 2, the matter with Egypt. Chapter 3, From Assyria to America, part 2. Chapter 4, the matter of history and pictures. Now, why did I do that, which covers over 40 pages of pictures, brothers and sisters? It's because in many, many cases, people want to see pictures, looking for pictures, and so forth. So that's why I did that. And with the pictures going over history, I explain as a footnote in many of them, explaining what the pictures are about. Chapter 5, the name, in other words, the holy name of the Creator. That chapter, to give a hint in what we're talking about there, is whether or not the name is said as YHWH or as Ahaya. And that's what that chapter right there gets into. Chapter 6, the tribe of Dan, because many have stated that the tribe of Dan is destroyed and does not exist. Chapter 7, from Angola to Arkansas. That is, brothers and sisters, as we went over in a previous slide about saying from Madagascar to Manhattan, from Dahomey to Delaware, from Nigeria to Niagara. Well, this one right here in this book has a chapter called From Angola to Arkansas, in the matter of Arkansas and the ending of slavery within the United States. Gets into that. Why is Mizraim not Egypt? Now, this particular chapter, brothers and sisters, gets into the matter of pitches, gets into the matter of ancient Egyptian pitches, and gets into the matter of Hebrew linguistics. What the Egyptians call themselves, why did the Israelites call them Mizraim? And brothers and sisters, the fact that the Egyptians did not call themselves Mizraim is mentioned in there. You understand? But in this chapter here, going as a continuation from part 1 of From Assyria to America, I speak upon the matter of Deuteronomy 28 and how Mizraim means double distress. It does not identify by default any particular land in that case. This is why we get into the linguistics. The Israelites called, who later on is called in history Mizraim, due to the experiences that they had in that particular place. So we want to point that out for reasonable purposes. Chapter 9, the matter with the Edomites. Now, that right there is one of the most controversial chapters, because in that particular one, I leave the reader to decide on who are the Edomites. Are they the Arabs? Are they the people in Nigeria? Or are they, in general, the white men of today? That's what this chapter here gets into in that particular case. Conclusion and acknowledgement. Bibliography. A book, only $7. This book here, From a Virus to Alabama, The Journey of the Hebrews, available for those who want it either online or from us directly from here. Amazon.com/author/Yeshaya Yisrael. Amazon.com/author/YESHIAH Instagram, Yeshaya and author. Cash App, $, Frank's Son 1, $FRANKSSON 1. All right. So just want to point that out for reasonable purposes. Telephone number 908-587-4841. 908-587-4841. Next slide, please. All right. A book, only $7. This book here, available for those who want it either online or from us directly here. All right. So again, you see the telephone number if one wants it through PayPal, and the Cash App, again, $ Frank's Son 1, FRANK, SSON 1. All right. Again, the telephone number 908-587-4841. Speaking on the matter of the summer sale and Shomrei Habrit. ShomreiHabrit.com. We're going to explain further about that as this presentation goes along. We're asking you all to subscribe to the channel, and we're asking you all to subscribe to the channel Shomrei Habrit. All right. This is a congregation online and in person, brothers and sisters, where it is based, no disrespect intended, more than just dropping a lesson, see you next Shabbat, dropping a lesson, see you next Shabbat. For those who do know and for those who care to look into it, the congregation, brothers and sisters, has a food pantry where people go who need food and can go to the congregation when the date set aside to go and get food. Subscribe to the channel, Shomrei Habrit, on YouTube, and you can get even more information about such. Or as you continue to watch this, you will see how to contact the congregation in that particular manner. What you're looking at again on the top, brothers and sisters, is the flyer, brothers and sisters, that was actually made in this particular case. All right. Next slide, please. Again, the flyer shown. These books here, Egypt, Talk and Writing. Israelite history as it relates to the world. From Assyria to America. From Assyria to America 2. Deuteronomy 28, History Untold to the Masses. My contact, again, 908-587-4841. The email, yyisrael22@yahoo.com. Summer book sale. Get 2 books for $30, a $10 discount. So instead of paying $20 for one and $20 for the other, you can reach out to me, pay $30, and get any 2 of these that you want until September 30th. So we just want to point that out for reasonable purposes. Next slide, please. All right. Deuteronomy 28, 15-68, History Untold to the Masses. All right. Introduction, Brief History of Israel. From Sumer to America. Brief History of Israel, Part 2. Deuteronomy 28, 15-68. 12 Tribe Chart. Extra notes on the subject of history. Appendix A, From Sumer to America 2. Brothers and sisters, for those who, and I say this in not trying to be funny or anything of that sort, anyone who really is extremely heavy into history, you're going to want to get this book. Extra notes on the subject of history. Appendix A, From Sumer to America 2. I thank the Most High to have the patience to even write those particular chapters right there. There is a lot of history in that. Appendix B, Deuteronomy 28:68 extended, to explain about some of the things, like when people try to say Munter, the Roman historian, talked about what the Bible speaks of the Deuteronomy 28:68, which is not. And why do I say that? The Christian apologists, and I say this in no disrespect, attempt to say, brothers and sisters, that Munter, the Roman historian, spoke upon what we can deduce to be the fulfillment of the Lord will send you back to Egypt in ships. In this book right here, I cite the entire passage that they use from Munter, the Roman historian, and explain by citing it itself that it cannot be the fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28. In this book right here, there is a link to a video that is on the channel, More Yeshaya History Lessons and More Yeshaya Torah Lessons. Subscribe to those channels. Thank you for watching. There is a link in that book where I respond to the Rabbi Meza, M-E-Z-A, and the claims that he makes about what the, quote, Black Hebrew Israelites state concerning Deuteronomy 28 using history and sources. One of the things that he state is that the Romans would have carried the, quote, Jews all over the Roman Empire. Here's the problem with the breakdown that Rabbi Meza gives. He states that the Egypt in Deuteronomy 28:68 is literally the Egypt in Northeast Africa. Then also citing Deuteronomy 28:68 says that the Jews by the Romans were scattered all over the Roman Empire, which would have included outside of Egypt and Northeast Africa. So you cannot, Rabbi Meza or anyone else, state in one breath that it was only Egypt and Northeast Africa, and then using the same verse in Deuteronomy 28:68, saying it's speaking about the dispersion and the scattering of the Israelites throughout the entire Roman Empire, while not addressing what happened to the Israelites after the Roman Empire. And this is why, brothers and sisters, I attempt to go into and push and promote this book, especially the Appendix A, From Sumer to America 2. That chapter gets into that. The 12 tribe chart, this is no disrespect intended. The chart that is in circulation, some of them have Dan on it, some of them do not have Dan on it. The 12 tribe chart, no disrespect intended, is not accurate for several reasons. The chart's main claim, correct me if I'm wrong, is that Judah as a people and kingdom was brought over to the Babylonian Empire. And Israel as a people and kingdom was brought to the Assyrian Empire. And by citing Esdras in the Apocrypha, that Israel was brought over by their own volition, brothers and sisters, to become the Native Americans of history, while they who were the victims of the Atlantic slave trade were they of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, or Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, being brought over to the Western Hemisphere. One of the issues with that, and I say this in no disrespect, we would have to take it back, brothers and sisters, to the 8th century BCE, because in the scriptures, letting the scriptures speak, Judah was taken into the Assyrian captivity from the cities of Lachish and other places. Israel was brought into the Babylonian captivity as well, because Jeremiah speaks upon how Assyria and the Babylonians oppressed Judah and Israel together. That is one thing to point out, taking it back to the scriptures and taking it back into the history. Later on in history, which is still past events of this day and time, is one will have to explain, attempting to say that Puerto Rico, about Ephraim being a cake not turned, being that you got the lighter skinned Puerto Ricans and then you got the darker skinned Puerto Ricans. According to the chart stance, you will then have to explain who are the darker skinned Puerto Ricans if Ephraim were the Taino people that was in a place called Borocane, today called Puerto Rico. So things like that is what that chapter gets into in that particular case, if we will. All right. So we just want to point this out for edification purposes. The longest chapter in there, Deuteronomy 28, 15 to 68, is over 100 pages. And that chapter right there gets into a lot of history, going from verse 15, 16, 17, verse by verse, taking out the mistranslations, such as in Deuteronomy 28, verse 25, and so forth and so on. So we just want to present our case, brothers and sisters, for be it known as edification purposes, as stated, if we will. All right. So let us continue, brothers and sisters, in this particular matter. Pictures relating to the chapters. Okay, yes, what I did in this book was I didn't put pictures inside of the chapters itself. What I did was pictures relating to the chapters. So you would go past the appendix and see pictures relating to chapter 2, pictures relating to chapter 3, pictures relating to chapter 4. That's how I did it with this particular book right here. Israelite history as it relates to the world. All right, now, introduction. Israelites and archaeology. The book of Exodus, chapters 1 through 15. Diaspora of the Israelites. The matter of slavery. The Bible, the European, the Arabs, and the black man. Conclusion. Now, this book is not as long or as lengthy as the book From Assyria to America, nor is it as lengthy as the book Deuteronomy 28 and History Untold to the Masses. But of this book right here, I want to point out, if we will, Israelites in archaeology. This gets into the Israelites in the catacombs of Europe. This gets into the images that they had of ancient Israel before the Renaissance matter, and so forth and so on. This gets into archaeology, showing the evidence of Israel outside of the Bible. You understand? Such as the pottery, such as the writings, such as the evidence of other nations speaking of the Israelites. Now, all of that, for the most part, is dated to the time before Herod, the son of Antipater. And why do I point that out? Because the quote conscious community who wants to sit there and deny the existence of the Bible's reality and thus the history of the Israelites attempts to always ask Israelites, what can you show before Herod? So you can see who's friends with who. Herod was friends of the Romans. Rome and Edom were friends. Is the said conscious community in part ran by the mentality of the Romans and by the leadership of the Edomites who wants to deny the existence of the Israelites? Why is Herod your pinpoint to sit there and show something? Why not go back to the matter of just pointing this out there. The writing of Seti the First that was found in the land of Issachar, where he speaks about the Habiru, the Hebrews. The writing, as pointed out before, of Meneptah. This has been pointed out again and again. The scarabs that speak of Yaakov Baal, that was part of the Hyksos of ancient Egypt. Why not start, say, at that point? Why not start, brothers and sisters, as you can see there on the bottom of it, on the left-hand side of it, the matter in the 9th century BCE of Shalmaneser III, speaking of the kings of Israel. Why is Herod your focal point? All right, so we're going to go on to the next slide. All right, me and my lady Sarai and her book. Want to read good poetry? Call 718-864-3125. 718-864-3125. That is the book that my lady wrote. Chronicles of a Black Woman's Soul in and Out of Time. Having read the book myself, my synopsis of it is that some of the poetry is sad, some of the poetry is funny, but none of the poetry is fake. All right. So you can call that number to get a copy of my lady's book. All right. As the brother and the man in her life, this is a picture of her and I there, brothers and sisters. All right. And much love and respect to the sister who has supported a brother over a year in many, many cases. All right. So again, if you want her book, contact her 718-864-3125. You can also find this book on Amazon for those who are interested. All right. A picture of her and I again when we were hanging out, brothers and sisters, in warm weather in Bear Mountain, which is part of New York. All right. So you see a picture of myself. You see some of the excerpts from the books that we've gone over, From Assyria to America, the 12 Tribes in Derision. That is the old cover of From Assyria to America, Part 1. All right. But the content of the book still the same. So we just want to point this out, brothers and sisters, for edification purposes, if we will. Let us go on, please, if we will, brothers and sisters. All right. To the next slide. All right. We're familiar with this, right? This is the Danite stele, which dates back to the 8th and 9th century BCE. See, why are you starting at Herod when archaeology is talking about the Israelites before such? Why start at Herod when Tacitus of Rome, who was not a friend of the Israelites, when speaking of the Israelites, he didn't even start at Herod. He's a Roman historian, Tacitus, Tacitus, who did not, while speaking of the Israelites, even start at Herod. So why does the conscious community keep on asking Israelites, show me something before Herod? And then when we show them something, well, you got something else? See, we're not playing these games. We're going to write these books and get this information out to the people for those who are interested. These books began to be able to be published, thank the Most High, when a brother left the debate circle and wanted to go into the knowledge circle. Debating back and forth has not helped. It's a time-wasting matter. And for those who are into it severely, take heed to that and see the spirit of debating, just like, for what it's worth, in the movie, the cartoon movie, The Lion King. When Scar the lion was hanging out with the hyenas, and he was, as a lion, befriending the hyenas. That is the debate spirit. You see how the pride was suffering and everything like that. And you see what the hyenas did to Scar. Because, see, the debate spirit will cause you to debate your friends, destroying your own flesh, destroying your own organization, destroying your own family, when you can't debate somebody else. We don't do that. We try to make progress. What you're seeing on the right side, brothers and sisters, if we will, is the moon. This is a picture from some years ago that I took while in the Bronx. It's a very beautiful picture to me. Who can make that if not the Most High? Are we going to sit there and say that this just was created by itself? Absolutely not. For the fact of it being pretty to the eyes shows that the one who made it has to want it to be seen as such. We see what happened when man tries to sit there and remake what the Most High's made, i.e. Monsanto, GMO. We see what that does to us as humans who are made by the Most High. So, no, brothers and sisters. The Most High gave us the ability to, as we see here, write books, get information out, carve things on stones and everything of that sort. And as you can see there, the writing in there is in what they call ancient Hebrew. Now, Paleo Hebrew is the same thing as ancient Hebrew. We want to point that out. The word Paleo simply is the Greek word meaning ancient. Next slide. Hebrew for couples, 1. Now, this is a picture of me and my lady. All right, holding Hebrew is Easy Volume 1 and Hebrew is Easy Volume 2. When we were brothers and sisters in Bear Mountain, as the picture shows, as we were in Bear Mountain, brothers and sisters over here at one point, we also was in Bear Mountain in this particular picture. So under this here is called Ibrit Lachaberim, which means Hebrew Ibrit Lachaberim. La meaning for, Lachaberim. Chaberim meaning friends. All right, or couples if you want to go there, because the word kaber means to tie. All right, and the best way to a man and a woman to be a couple is to be friends. I'm not trying to try to tell anybody what to do or preachy or anything of that sort, but you want to be friends before you want to sit there and settle down, because then it could become friendly. Of course, it's a deeper type of friend, different type of friend, still a friend nonetheless. Introduction. Explanation of the letters, Aleph, Bet, Gamel, and so forth. Vowels and notes. Grammar. Vowels and notes. What is a patak? What is a kwamat? What is a shuruk? What is a kubut? What is a shawa? What is the purpose of these vowels? Grammar. What goes first? The adjective, the noun, the subject, the object, the verb. Which goes first in grammar when speaking? Simple vocabulary of family members. Mother, father, son, daughter, grandparents, so forth. The matter of pronouns and used in sentences. Pronouns, I, you, he, she, him, her. When to use object pronouns and regular pronouns. That's what this part gets into there. Words used when traveling. As a couple, like me and my lady, you may know we went to Costa Rica, we went to Egypt, all right? So how to say plane, how to say I will fly, I flew, I want to fly, I want to go there, I don't want to go there. That's what that part gets into in that particular case. Words used when busy. So it won't be thought of as somebody being dismissive. Conclusion. Hebrew for couples too, as you can see there in that particular case. Introduction. Business by Hebrews. The alphabet explained again. Family members. Now, this list of family members in this book goes into a little bit deeper than Hebrew for Couples 1. Chapter 4, very important. S is not the plural in Hebrew. So we would not say ox as brothers or akots as sisters. This right here gets into some of the commonly used words by Israelites when trying to, and I say trying in no disrespect, pluralizing a word without understanding that S is not the plural in Hebrew. That's what this gets into, and this is done in love and respect. Chapter 5, common words and phrases, as in dealing as a couple. Chapter 6, addressing elders. This is done from a male to an elder and female to an elder. All right. Conclusion and acknowledgments. So just want to point that out for reasonable purposes. Hebrews for couples 3. As you can see there, the moon shown again, and so forth and so on. I want to point this out because my lady wears a lot of pearls and beads. All right. So that's why you see that there in that particular case. All right. Hebrew for couples, a man and woman speak, Yeshaya and Sarai, Israel. Introduction. Genesis 6:19 and Genesis 7:2. Get your Hebrew up in that case. What does tahor, tame, zakar, and the mean? Ads and pitches. Now, when I say ads, I'm talking about advertising for other Israelites. When you present something, you want us being each other's most valuable resources to promote and show each other. All right. The purpose of this book. Commonly used verbs conjugated. Now, in that, I'm talking about past tense and present tense. Conjugated in the past tense and present tense. The matter with the word wash. I wash, I will wash. This is washed. The past participle in the nif'al. Now, the nif'al is the passive of the qual. So we wanted to point out in this particular book, many of the verbs that you see used in here, commonly used verbs conjugated, is inside the qual stem. In this book here also, this explains what the nif'al stem, which is the second of the 7 stems, is about. All right? The matter of the verb want, which is a lamed hey verb. I want, you want, she want, they want, plural, past tense, plural, present tense, plural, and singular as well, future tense. Jeremiah 5:26 in part. And what this part here gets into is the matter, brothers and sisters, of how to identify what is the adjective, the adverb, the verb, the noun. What is the past tense? What is the prefix? What is the suffix? So in Hebrew for Couples, Volume 3, I wanted to get into this being spiritually motivated by my lady as we study Hebrew together. You'll begin to see what this is about. All right? The matter of the use of al. Al, brothers and sisters, in this case, meaning not. Al telek, don't go. Al talki, don't go, when speaking to a female. That's what that is about. And then the conclusion. Shomrei Habrit and the Danites. We said earlier that we're going to speak upon Shomrei Habrit, the congregation that I endorse and am a part of. Your spiritual journey awaits. Shomrei Habrit, www.shomreihabrit.com, www.shomrayhabreet.com. And on the right side, you see a picture of myself along with the brother Mordeh Yiftach in a Hebrew chart behind us. Now, why did I pick that for this particular presentation is this. For those familiar with the channel, Shomrei Habrit on YouTube, on Shabbat, the Sabbath, the brother goes over Hebrew. The brother's wife, Yahia, goes over Hebrew. The brother teaches Hebrew. We endorse Imadina, may the Most High continue to bless her life, who also teaches Hebrew. I have Hebrew books that are out. I'm saying all of that to say that one hand washes the other in righteousness with clean soap, if we understand the context of such. So it doesn't take away from anyone to support another brother, sister, elder, or even child, once it comes down to such. All right? So, Shomrei Habrit and the Danites. Now, let us go back, brothers and sisters, Hebrew for couples. All right? Thank you for the time. And let us look at this, if we will. Right? Hebrew for couples. This book here is $10 online. I suggest for those who do want this to go on Amazon.com and get it, as opposed to PayPaling me or Cash Apping me for this particular one. All right. The Hebrew for Couples book, brothers and sisters, is 3 of them. All right. Hebrew for Couples 2, as you see right there. All right. For those who are interested in that particular case, if you will. All right. Each of them, Hebrew for Couples 1, 2, and 3, brothers and sisters, are $10 each. And you can get them, brothers and sisters, on Amazon.com. All right. Now, let us look. Shomrei Habrit. All right. Cash App. Sorry about that. $, Shomrei Habrit. Zelle, 917-804-6420. PayPal, YDAHN, the number 7 at AOL.com. PayPal, YDON7 at AOL.com. The book to the right is intended to be released in December, Hebrew calendar month for Kislev. This book right here, from Kemet to Compton, The Travels of the Hebrews, is based upon, brothers and sisters, diaspora, the enslavement, why we went through it. And it discusses Israelites everywhere from the Beta Yisrael in Florida, the Beta Yisrael in Ethiopia, to the Bloods and Crips in America that extend from California to Florida. All right, so as you can see, the top of this has the menorah, which is a symbol of ancient Israel. And on the bottom, you may see gangs in that. So this book right here is going to be very, very extended from one topic to the other. All right. So just want to point that out. The intention for this book is to be released in the month of December of this year, the Hebrew calendar month, the month of Kislev the 25th, which correlates to when Hanukkah or Hanukkah is. The book is going to be dedicated to the congregation Shomrei Habrit. For those who are interested, you would have to contact us if you want it directly from us, and the funds will go to the camp itself directly. So just want to point that out for edification purposes. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator, the Maker of heaven and earth. Okay, this particular presentation, thank you for your time, family, is now concluded. All right. And we want to, if we will, brothers and sisters, all right, talk a little bit with the time allotted. And what I mean when I say talk, if we will, brothers and sisters, is that I will ask you all to subscribe to the channel, Mora Yeshaya Torah Lessons. I will ask you to subscribe to the channel, Mora Yeshaya Old Testament. I will ask you to subscribe to the channel, Mora Yeshaya History Lessons 2. Any channel in which you're seeing this on, I ask you all to share it. I leave it to where one can leave a comment, brothers and sisters. All right? So, shout out, as I see, to the brother, Dorayahu Ben Dora. Okay, the brother wrote in, just came in. I want to show that in due respect. Just came in. I am still reading From Assyria to America, Part 1. Have not got to Part 2 as of yet. And I must say that it is well worth more than advertised. Okay, thank you for that, my brother. It's definitely appreciated for the support. All right. Again, brother, give me a call if you get this message. If you're hearing me, 908-587-4841. Again, thank you for the support and the love in that particular case. All right. And in closing this part out, peace and blessings to all present, from Dorayahu Ben Dora and from myself, Mora Yeshaya Yisrael. All right. Subscribe to the channel. Shalom. Most High bless.